Konnichiwa, here is McIntyre, which is author of this video. This video, I'm going to introduce what I learned from my last internship and how to reach my internship objectives. First of all, it's about how can I complete my 3 learning objectives. First, understand the operation and management of this restaurant and the culture of hospitality in Japan. Second, problem-solving skill improvement. And the last one is language skill improvement. I have worked in 3 different restaurants. The French restaurant Rudolph. This restaurant is on the first floor nearby the entrance of the hotel. It has 2 floors, can accommodate up to 100 guests. During the spring and the winter, it is running a strawberry buffet. It starts from 11:30 to 5:30. In total 3 rounds, every round is 90 minutes. And between every round, they have 30 minutes to do the preparation for next round. After that is dinner. Every day it starts from 6 a.m. because here is the place to provide breakfast for the staying guests. From 6 to 6:30 is the preparation. And the breakfast is open from 6:30 until 10. For the work, we have very specific allocation, which is like this in Mexico. Everyone has specific area and duty to responsible. And after 10, we start to do the table setting for the lunch. The lunch is opened from 11:30 and finished at 2:30. Then we do the dinner setting and also prepare for the breakfast of tomorrow. Based on every day, we need to work 9 hours, including 1 hour break. So normally the staff will go to break around 4 to 5 p.m. The dinner is start from 5:30 until 11. And then we do the setting for the breakfast of tomorrow. The last one is the bar and the beer garden. Both of them managed by the bar manager. Due to the weather and the temperature, the beer garden only opened from May to October. Also, sometimes we can operate the banquet at this area as well. Based on our venue is big enough, we can even handle 250 people's outdoor party, like the barbecue party, cocktail party, etc. But during the rainy day, it closes, or we run it in the bar. Problem-solving skill. Tell the truth, I don't have a lot of opportunity to deal with the guest complaints. Based on I can't speak very well Japanese, also in restaurant we don't have many complaints. Actually, the F&B is doing well in this hotel. But I am the only one who can communicate with the Chinese guests, so I also as much as possible to help them with the guest complaints. Finally is the language improvement. This is my main objective of this internship. While working, I always try to speak Japanese with my colleagues, also while serving guests. Except this, I still have some books, online net school, learning my Japanese every week. The reason why I really hard to improve my language skill, because I think as a person who is working in hospitality industry, it is necessary to know few kinds of language in order to serve the guests from different countries. For example, in our hotel for the breakfast, normally we have 3 kinds of guests: Japanese, Chinese, and other foreigners. And actually in our restaurant, I'm the only one can speak Chinese to communicate with the guests. Some of the guests, especially the elders, they only can speak their mother tongue in order to be a good manager in the future. I think it is important to master several kinds of languages. For the proof, I do use holistic cultural dimensions to analyze the situation I met and how to deal with it. Based on my nationality is China, and I received education as Switzerland and now doing the internship in Japan. So that I choose these 3 countries as the sample to analyze the situation I met and consider why I met this kind of problem and how to deal with it. Power distance. For the power distance, we can see no matter China or Japan both about 15 and Switzerland just 34. Which means in Asia, people are more willing to obey the order and do not against it. Which means we can execute the order very efficiently. Second one is the individualism. About the individualism, China and Japan both are below 50 and Switzerland is 68. It shows Asian people, while they're working, they prefer contribute themselves to the group or family. The third one is the masculinity. For the masculinity, Japan is exotic high already 95, but China and Switzerland is also 66 and 70, which means no matter you work in Japan, China, or Switzerland, all the society will be driven by competition. Uncertainty avoidance. For the uncertainty avoidance, China is 30, which means Chinese people are more willing to take risks to run a business or investment. Japanese prefer to stay in the same company or position for a very long period. From a new staff to a restaurant manager, in Japan almost costs 10 years, and normally the staff don't change the company. Long-term orientation. About the long-term orientation, all these countries prefer use a positive attitude to face the social changes, while actively taking measures. Indulgence. For the indulgence, China just 24 and Japan also below 50. It is really clear that Asian people have better self-discipline. At the same time, maybe based on this, it limited us to open our mind, which means creativity, were less than other countries.